In the summer of 2005, 20-year-old Jerick Vaughn, a seasoned wilderness enthusiast, embarked on a solo 2-week expedition into Northern California's Trinity Alps, a rugged expanse of granite peaks and dense forests. Drawn to nature's raw challenges since losing his father young, Jerick found solace in solitude, honing his survival skills in unforgiving terrains. His mother, Vaughn, understood his passion but carried a constant maternal worry. This trek was to be his final test before a global solo journey. When his return date of August 18th passed without contact, a chilling mystery began that would haunt the Alps for years. Jerick was no ordinary hiker. His leave-no-trace philosophy and off-grid protocol shutting off all electronics reflected his desire to sever ties with the modern world. On August 4th, at the edge of a popular trail, he sent Ara a final message via a faint cell signal. Accompanying it were photos, sweeping vistas of snow-dusted peaks and one of Jerick standing in the midday sun. Clad in a turquoise windbreaker, tan bucket hat, and dark sunglasses, he carried a heavy black backpack and a brown leather satchel, gripping trekking poles with purpose. He mentioned Indonesian tourists who snapped the photo, noting ideal weather, and promising to return in 2 weeks. "I love you," he wrote. Before the signal died by August 22nd, 4 days overdue, Ara's turned to panic. She alerted the Trinity County Sheriff's Office, triggering a massive search. The Trinity Alps, spanning over 500,000 acres of treacherous canyons and faint trails, posed a daunting challenge. Helicopters scanned ridges for Jerick's vibrant jacket, while ground teams and tracking dogs scoured trails radiating from the scenic overlook where he was last photographed. The tourists, located before leaving the area, confirmed meeting Jerick but couldn't recall his direction after their brief chat. Weeks passed with no trace. Jerick's meticulous environmental practices left no footprints or discarded gear. As hope faded, a wildlife photographer, Leander Horn, offered a critical lead. On the day Jerick vanished, Horn saw him at the overlook, engaged in intense conversation with an older man in his late 50s, with a weathered face and antiquated military-style canvas gear. The stranger showed Jerick a unique, possibly hand-drawn map pointing off-trail into dense wilderness. Horn watched them depart together, bypassing established paths. Searches in that rugged area yielded nothing, and as winter snows loomed, the effort was scaled back. Leaving Ara with only questions and a cold case in October 2010, 2 hunters, Mason Sykes and Leander Lockick, ventured deep into a remote section of the Alps, far from any trail. Navigating steep slopes and ancient trees, they spotted disturbed soil near a moss-covered granite boulder. Expecting animal activity, they were stunned to unearth a gray tarp, heavy with contents. Inside was hiking gear, a soiled turquoise windbreaker, a crumpled tan bucket hat, and a brown leather satchel. Buried within was a rusted, foot-long metallic object, a flower-like mechanism with pointed segments, later identified as a replica. Hair of Anguish, a medieval torture device designed for excruciating pain. The hunters trekked 3 days to deliver the find to the sheriff's office. Forensic analysis confirmed the clothing belonged to Jerick Vaughn, with DNA matching Ara's samples from 2005, the Pair of Anguish. Its segments, expanded as if used, suggested a sinister fate. The burial site, deliberately hidden, pointed to foul play, but no body was found, deepening the mystery. Who buried Jerick's gear with such a horrific artifact? The investigation turned to Horn's 2005 sighting. The older man's military gear and specialized map suggested a survivalist with a dark fixation. Locals whispered about Idris Rook, a reclusive veteran in his late 50s who appeared sporadically in town, working odd jobs before vanishing into the wilderness. His His redacted military records revealed training in psychological operations, interrogation, and survival skills aligning with the crime's precision and the torture device's archaic cruelty. Surveillance confirmed Rook's elusive nature. He maintained a sparse apartment under an alias and moved through the forest with expert evasion tactics. Suspecting a hidden shelter, investigators used aerial surveillance to locate a camouflaged cabin in a remote ravine in early 2011. Simultaneous raids on the cabin, apartment, and a storage locker revealed Rook's dark world. The locker held anatomical charts, veterinary tools, animal bones with experimental trauma, and more torture device replicas. The cabin, his true lair, contained bloodied surgical tools, restraining devices, and logs detailing animal torture. Encoded military jargon. Rook, apprehended in the cabin, remained eerily calm during questioning, dismissing the findings as historical research and denying any link to Jerick. Without direct evidence, authorities released him. Rook vanished into the Alps, stalling the investigation. Analysts pored over Rook's hand-drawn maps, noticing cryptic annotations. A military cryptography expert decoded them as Cold War-era symbols marking disposal zones. One set of coordinates pointed to a high-altitude ravine with deep rock crevices. Unsearched in 2005, a climbing team navigated the treacherous terrain and found human remains in a narrow crevice. Forensic analysis confirmed they were Jerick's, partially mummified by the dry, cool conditions. The body showed signs of prolonged torture consistent with the pair of anguish. Crucially, foreign DNA on the remains matched Idris Rook. An arrest warrant prompted a massive manhunt. Days into the search, a tactical team found Rook's body in a dense forest, dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Realizing capture was imminent, he chose death over justice. Jerick's remains were returned to Ara, who buried him overlooking the mountains he loved. Rook, warped by his Cold War training and obsessed with violence, had turned the Alps into a hunting ground. His coded maps, meant to hide his crimes, led to his downfall. The truth brought Ara closure but also unbearable pain, knowing her sons suffering. The Trinity Alps, once Jerick's refuge, now held a permanent scar for the community, a reminder of the darkness lurking in the